And I'll give you $5 later. Thank you.
I have a question. I was asked by somebody, John, if you had a story about applying for the Star Trek role or something. Donna from Australia showed you how to feed wallabies, something like that, drove you around.
Oh, she may be talking about, this is a story I've told before, so my apologies to those of you who've heard it. And this frequently, actually, 20 or 30 people get up and leave at this point because it's so familiar. But when you audition sometimes on American television, you don't always get the full script. And for our show, I just got the sides, one scene, and all it said was come in with a slight alien accent. So, you know, what the hell does that mean? I practiced a variety of different options with my wife, robotic, and I don't know, anything under the sun, until finally she sort of said the one I'd arrived at, which is the one I essentially used, was okay. But I thought perhaps on his home planet he was a bird. So in moments of rapture, transport, or joy, I would squawk. So when I went in, I auditioned, and I went blah, 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 blah. And I got the job. But I had no idea whether I got the job in spite of the fact that I squawked like a bird or because of the fact I squawked like a bird. And
you asked them about it.
I did. I asked them repeatedly, and they just kept giving me sort of like I was supposed to intuit whether or not I was a bird or not. So even on the very first day of shooting, when we actually were... This is a slight exaggeration because, of course, we would have rehearsed first, but it makes a better story this way. Let's say they were shooting the scene for the first time, and I actually went, blah, 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 and the director went, cut! John, what are you fucking around for? Which is how I knew I was not a bird, nor would I ever be a bird. So that's probably the story she was referring to.
I was at the network audition because we were there together, and I heard him through the door. He went in first to do the, you know, it's the big audition. You've signed the contract with all the zeros, and, you know, you better put your best foot forward, and I could hear this. I was like, God, this guy's got balls the size of bloody melons doing that. Ah, dear.
Still wish I'd gotten to be a bird, actually. I was rather attached to my bird.
Well, that was... No, go on.
Can I please have a hug?
$5.
$10.
$20.
$30.
Which one do you want to hug? Oh, that's a good round 100. Yeah. Come on then.
Oh, goodness sake.
Hold on. $50, $60.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
Where's your mum?
She's not here today. She couldn't come.
Oh, sorry. Well, I hope that hug was sufficient for your mother as well.
All right. I'm a mother hugger.
Another question. Yes.
This is a question for John. Dr. Phlox is my favorite character on Enterprise. What do you think makes him so lovable, and did you enjoy playing him?
Would you just say that again, would you? I don't think Dom heard that.
Yeah, I don't think
Did you hear that?
You had me at favorite.
All right, that's $5 for you, $5 for you. Boy, thank God I'm getting $100 from the woman I hugged. What made me lovable? I don't know. I'm turning red right now. I don't know. You know, actually, I've played a number of serial killers and child molesters, so it was a refreshing change of pace to play somebody who actually had sort of a positive outlook and kind of a zen sensibility. You know, this too shall pass. The world is my oyster. So in a way, it was probably closer to home for me than many of the other, you know, perverts and deranged people that most people here probably are not familiar with, but comprise my television career. So that's a short answer, but thank you, though. I appreciate that. That's very sweet of you to say.
Sit down now.
Where did Dominic rank? Like second, maybe third or fourth, or just low? No, don't go. Oh, no.
Second was fourth.
Oh, that's all right, I'm going to shut up now.
Bill, get security here right now.
Another question.
For Odo.
Rene.
Yeah.
I was doing some YouTube research yesterday, and your kiss was
Always
described
dangerous.
as the most passionate kiss in Star Trek. Do you have a comment on that?
You're
Did you kiss?
That kiss with your face covered in rubber was like the safest kind of sex you could ever have. And mostly what I remember about it is when it occurred, when we finally did it on camera and we separated from the kiss, I looked at Nana and her face was bright orange and my nose was all mashed to one side. So if that ranks as the most passionate kiss in Star Trek, that's sort of pitiful, isn't it? Now, yeah, no, but it was strange. It was one of those things people always ask us, I think they probably asked you the same sort of thing, whether we had a hand in developing our characters, and the answer to that is no, we didn't have anything to do with it. Ours was not to question why, except to the extent that as, when you start a show, the writers, the producers, the directors all have a very specific idea of what the character is going to be. And then you start playing the character, and over a number of years or seasons, they begin to write the music to fit your instrument. So to that extent, you do have a lot to say about where the character goes. But for Nana and I, we were always very surprised that our characters became romantically attached to each other. And that was something the writers didn't know was going to happen until somewhere in the second season, and it was something about some look that Odo gave to Kira, and they were watching it in dailies, the next day when they're watching the film that you shot the previous day, and they said, oh, look at that, Odo loves her, and then they started writing that. So
I'm always looking at Dominic that way.
Yeah, well, you're lucky. But for us, it was always sort of a little bit weird. We were very close friends and loved to work with each other, but giving her that passionate kiss was sort of like kissing your sister, to tell you the truth. But
what's wrong with that?
There you go.
Come on, mate, we're in Wellington.
Whoa!
Can't poke a little fun.
Whoa!
Done that in Alabama. They didn't blow an eyelid, mate.
Yeah. You were thrown out of Alabama, as I recall. Question.
Hi, this is another question for Rene. Working on Boston Legal with William Shatner, did you guys ever exchange Star Trek experiences?
That's a good one.
William Shatner?
I love it. Using the accent to get away with murder in public.
Bill's reputation has often preceded him, not to his best advantage. I didn't really know him very well. I had met him at a few conventions like this. We'd had dinner a couple of times. He was always extremely nice, but I didn't really know him. And then when I started to work on Boston Legal, he became really one of my closest friends, and is a very dear friend to this day. And he's just pretty adorable character. Now, I imagine in his youth he might have been a difficult character, but by the time he started playing Denny Crane, he had really become very comfortable with himself. I remember saying to him one day, we were sitting in our chairs waiting for the next shot, and it was near the weekend, and I said, what are you doing this weekend? He said, oh, I'm doing a convention in so-and-so. He was going to fly away. And it seemed like every weekend he was going somewhere to do a convention. And one day I said to him, I said, God, you are so, and he said, greedy. And anyway, I loved working with him. He was very welcoming and incredibly supportive to me when I joined the cast, and that's about all I can say about him. He's just a great guy. I like him.
Bill Shatner, love that. I might use that somewhere along the lines.